Yo, yo, yo. We're doing an episode in the middle of the week. It's your time to speak. Alright, cool. First we're gonna start off with what the podcast is all about, as usual. It's about adding value to listeners by giving a real story of someone who maybe hasn't achieved a lot and the different principles he applies to eventually become the best version of himself. Why I'm committed? It's a great way to both document growth, reminisce on fun moments, and remind myself that these things do indeed work out. And boy, we got a fun one today. What I'm avoiding though, vanity, just vanity. It's about the struggle. It's about authenticity. It's about taking them L's and turning them L's into W's. You know, losses to lessons, lessons to blessings, blessings to flexing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, cool. So first, we're gonna summarize the week thus far. It's not even last week. It's literally the week thus far. Crazy. First 3 days. So I needed 205 units to hit Sizzler. I was pretty confident that I could do that after last week because 200 wasn't terribly difficult. I had some off-schedule moments and super long sit-downs. Like, getting 200 units actually is not as crazy in my mind as it was. But anyway, came in super confident, had a pretty good first day, had a mediocre second day, and I was just kind of victimizing myself a little bit because of this turf shit. I'll actually explain that actually right now. Yeah, so the turf that I was working, I kind of told Jake that like I didn't have a lot of turf left, you know? And he just kind of pointed out that I was working it pretty loosely, but everywhere that he highlighted that like didn't have a lot of pins. I went through there, I just didn't put pins because it was like all second homes, and my tablet was tweaking. I just didn't think it was really important to get the pin done because I knew it's based on the street names and the demos that I had around it that, not the point. Anyway, I was just like working this area. It's a lot of second homes, not a lot of families, and I was just kind of like, damn. And you know, the last couple of weeks I've been thinking that, you know, Jake's kind of isolating me from the group, and he's kind of just gave up on me in my summer. So when you look at it geographically, the turf that the other three people in the group have that are selling more is like more towards New York area, and then I'm like, you know, more towards New Hampshire area. And I'm selling over somebody else that sold this summer. And then to top that all off, it's like it's a resort town. It's like Ludlow is a resort town. There's like 50 kids total in the elementary school, and that's like pre-K through fucking 6th grade, you know? So I was just like kind of pressed. I'm just driving around trying to find these people, and motherfuckers aren't showing themselves up because there's not a lot of people in the town. But bro said I can't leave the town until I've worked tight, and I'd actually made up in my mind that I was just gonna straight up disobey him and start up a new turf because like I was frustrated, you know? And then I leave this sit down, and this dude, funny enough, this dude is like, yo, I get into this sit down. It's like an older dude, and he's like, I do landscaping for all the different second homes in the area. It's pretty good for me because they have a lot of money and they're never there. And he told me that, and he was like, you know, if you really want to be successful, you got to go to Whitehall or even Castleton or even Middlebury. And funny enough, literally the 3 towns that he named are the 3 towns that that Jake, Jakob, and Mason are selling in, you know? And so like, I guess in like a fit of rage, I was just kind of like driving, and if I'm being honest, I wasn't as safe as I could have been. Like, the accident was like an accident. Like, it wasn't like a crazy, like, I'm super out of control accident, but I definitely wasn't as present as I should have been on the road to like slow down around the curbs and shit. And I've noticed that I have that tendency sometimes, so you know, something like this was eventual, you know what I mean? But anyway, long story short, I crashed my car into a tree off a ditch because there's a soft shoulder in the road. So I don't have a car anymore. And it sucks. It sucks. I haven't really had the time to voice it out or whatever. I've been trying to be positive for the HQ, but it fucking sucks. You know? And like, the sucky part about it, I guess, in my mind, isn't necessarily the car thing, even though that hurts my selling. It's more just like the fact that I went into debt for that car, you know? So now I'm like in debt for a car that I don't even have, and I have to save up enough money or make enough money for the next couple of weeks to get a new car that I can use to go back to my regular daily life. When I get back home, I'm gonna be fucking homeless without a car. Like, it's just straight bum shit, you know? And I think all that shit's just kind of been fucking up my self-image, you know what I mean? I guess it's easy to hide behind what you have when you're comfortable. I just dropped a bar right there. What the fuck? Yeah, because the car is just one part of the situation. When I went back home, I wasn't going to be in a great situation. It's probably going to go back to delivering mail. And nothing wrong with that. It's just not really what I wanted for myself. And it's like, geez, what the fuck, you know? But on the bright side of that, with the car being totaled, it actually does a pretty good job to transition to the main point, and I'll transition to that in a little bit. But another good thing about like not having the car is just the what ifs, you know what I mean? Like, the car has had the issue with like the steering system for like the whole summer, plus like 3-4 months since I got it, pretty much, you know? And with it being like that, who knows, maybe like I don't get into that accident, but because of the situation with the steering, I lose control of the car randomly in a place where there's more people, then I die and a lot of other people die, you know? Another thing is, like, I made it out safely, you know? If that was supposed to be my last day on Earth, and that crashing into a tree was supposed to be the end of me, then like it would have been the end of me, you know what I mean? Like, as crazy as that is to say like that, it would have been the end of me, you know? And the fact that it's not means that there's more in store for me, even if sometimes in my mind I don't want to see it or live that, you know? Another thing with the crash is like, it's kind of a small detail, but I don't got to pay gas money anymore. It's pretty lit. Yeah, you know? So even though we don't have a car and we're in all this debt because of the car, and we're not fucked, but we're definitely not good, you know? That's what this podcast is all about. That's what life is all about, you know? It's like, you're gonna have those moments where it's just shit sucks. To put it bluntly, shit sucks, you know? And it's like, fuck, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna make it, like we just gotta make it happen, you know? Because if this were to happen like 10 years down the line, and say my mind changes and I have like a wife and kids and all these other things, it's like, it's not gonna go away. The responsibility's not gonna go away. The issue's not gonna go away. Like, nothing's gonna go away. It'll just be like, I still gotta problem solve it. So like, getting to practice that now and being able to live and tell the tale is like a blessing in and of itself. So yeah. I did notice though, ever since the crash, ever since the crash, I've been in a shitty headspace for the last like 2 days, because that shit happened on Monday, Tuesday, so Wednesday, and then like Wednesday night I was just like making all these excuses to be on my phone and not be like mentally on schedule, and I was also making all these excuses to just like not lock in, you know, and it's like, that's just not acceptable, you know? So for me, like, what I really gotta do is just lock in, just do my best. Because I still do want to go to Sizzler, and maybe like me crashing the car and like my production, which I know I would have gotten over 200 units. Maybe like I end up not going to Sizzler and I'm not meant to go to Sizzler. You know what I mean? Maybe that's just what it is. I don't know. It's weird. Life is weird. The book feels weird. But yeah, also I got a bike, because that's what you do when you're walking. You figure out a way to get a bike. I got a bike. I think I've been using it as distraction because riding is kind of fun. So yeah, I definitely gotta I think I just gotta keep my phone off. I think that's the thing. I don't even think it's a bike thing. I think it's just keeping the phone off because I just randomly stop and Facebook scroll during the day and fuck up my schedule. You know? But yeah, it's crazy. Random suicidal thoughts, just randomly thinking that I'm a bum and then that I don't serve any value in the world. It really comes and it goes. It's weird. I gotta go to therapy or something for it. And then, I don't know, thoughts on Southwestern Advantage. I sat down with this dude and I asked him for life advice, I guess, because he just seemed really wise and sage and shit. And I was like, yo, I just totaled my car and I'm in debt for it and I'm selling books, straight commission, and I'm fucked and I don't know what to do with my life, which is the honest truth. And, I'm trying to claim shit here and there, but it's just, I don't know what to do with my life, And I guess I was like, yo, bro, just with complete and utter honesty, what would you do, whatever. And his advice, this life advice, is just kind of manage the 5 people that I spend the most time with, so don't spend time with dickheads. So I'm probably not going to be spending probably going to be spending more time with people like Corinne. Just good, positive people that have a good mindset, give good advice, that are just really sage and not really negative ever. I mean, they're probably negative at various points, but yeah, I'm probably gonna do some more stuff with that. Hang out with Moth a little bit more, actually. And honestly, just keep pushing. I gotta get a better grip of who my friends are. And then Southwestern Advantage, as of right now, I just don't think it's smart to do another summer. Have 3 summers of proof that I'm just not good at selling books. It's not even a sales talk problem. I think it's literally just I don't know, it's like a scarcity mindset problem and a lack of confidence problem, Just some shit I gotta work on, and it just doesn't make sense to work on these things in Southwestern, just because of the financial risk is probably the only reason why. Just not making a lot of money for a long time, Not even putting a lot of money in the bank, I'm just not good at selling books. If I was good at selling books, then I'd be able to have some money to be able to do some stuff with, and I could rationalize being here for a little bit longer, working on myself. But also, I think part of the reason I'm in Southwestern to begin with is just because I'm looking for recognition. Yeah, so it's gonna work out the way it's supposed to. I can't get too up or down about it. Now the principal, shit. The principal, it's about that lady from fucking Mississippi last summer. It's not about who you are when things are good. Anybody can jig and jive and thrive, and the music's right and the party's right and everything's set up for them, It's about who you are when the odds are stacked against you and things are dreary. That's when who you are gets exposed. I think the last couple of days with everything being not the best, I think the negative side of me has been exposed, just not being very present, making excuses, mentally signing myself off, That side of me is being exposed right now by this car situation. And that's good because that means I'm getting to notice it. I'm in an ideal enough situation for me to notice my shortcomings versus just blotching them off with the wall of positivity. But yeah, no buts. But yeah, I think it's a good thing actually. I'm starting to kind of get a better idea of who I am, and right now, who I am is just someone who makes excuses and doesn't lock in and doesn't set the standard, and just all these things, But the bad thing about it is, but the good thing that I've noticed about it is that I'm actually getting to experience it. I feel like if I was living a very cushy life, I wouldn't be able to know who I am when I'm at my worst, when I'm at the bottom of the bottom. When all I could do is make gratitude lists and hope that carries weight, So yeah, new commitments, just 50 calls. 50 calls. You know, don't quicker, dumber is an emotional close. No, I'm not even gonna make it technical. 50 calls. Get to enough motherfuckers, bro. That means I gotta get away from the bike so that I can, like, I just gotta turn the phone off. It's not even a bike thing. I just gotta turn the phone off. If that means, if it's that, then that means I gotta lock in. You know what I mean? So I guess the goal is 50 calls. The way I'm gonna do that is just turning my phone off. I'm a dopamine addict. We all dopamine addicts, though. The technical difference maker is seeing more people. The emotional difference maker is seeing more people and turning my phone off. And just praying. And just the affirmations. Yeah, this is the best thing that ever happened to us. Me being in this situation where I'm like completely everything stacked up against me, that's the best thing for me, because that's what's going to allow me to open myself up to go out there and do my best and experience those things. The second affirmation is I don't need ideal circumstances. I don't need things to be ideal. I don't. I just need an opportunity. I just need to go out there and work. Yeah, it's so funny. But yeah, Oscar, this is like your midweek hour to yourself. You had to do a little bit of a reflection. Listen to it on the way to turf, and then turn your phone fucking off, all the way off. And just be where you are. My forehead big as shit. Alright, see ya.